year I thought about how things can come around just like that if everyone is here to celebrate one day. We have our ups and downs, but when there's love, there's always a way, and oh, this time of year.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be baking Christmas cookies. My husband Ernie is here. We're gonna do 5 different Christmas cookies. We've never done this before. We've never actually baked before together, let alone 5 different kinds of Christmas cookies. But for some reason I thought it was gonna be a good idea. So we're gonna do that. We've never had enough space in a kitchen before, I think, to do it in our apartment. Our apartment had like a really small kitchen. So now we have the room, so I think it's gonna be fun. What are we doing? We're doing, the first cookie we're gonna do is sugar cookies. And then we have like a chocolate peppermint cookie. Ernie loves mint and mocha chocolate anything.
It's gonna have a junior mint glaze.
There you go. So the sugar cookies, the chocolate mint cookies, an Almond Joy kind of a cookie. I love Almond Joys. And then there's like a butter pecan ball and chocolate chip cookies. Have to have chocolate chip cookies. So we have all of our ingredients laid out. So we're gonna take you guys along the process and how we make it. We are gonna be decorating the sugar cookies, so that's why we're gonna start with them first, so they have time to bake and then cool. Yeah, so we're gonna drink our hot chocolate that I kindly made for us and start baking. All right, sugar cookies, here we go. Ingredients is 1 cup of butter softened, so that's 2 sticks. 1 cup of granulated sugar, so white sugar. Here, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, an egg, 3 cups of flour, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. So we're gonna start with that. The first thing it says to do is preheat the oven, which we did. And then we're going to cream together the butter and the sugar in our KitchenAid. So let's do that. So we need to get together 1 cup of sugar.
And oh, this time of year we come together to celebrate. Yes, every time the snow is falling down and it is cold outside, we gather around the fireplace and no one cares about yesterday. My favorite holiday, it means so much more than words can say. And I claim that Christmas is a magic day. Sometimes I tend to forget what glory this holiday represents, but it's fair to say that Christmas is a magic day. This year I'll think about how I'm so lucky to have a place that I can come home to. Yes, I am on my way. We'll put our
Okay, so we did the wet ingredients, the egg, the sugar, the vanilla. Is that right?
Yep.
Egg, sugar, vanilla. No, butter. Duh. Now we're gonna do the dry ingredients. So it's 3 cups of all-purpose flour. And then, I have to keep checking my thing. Salt, half a teaspoon of salt. And baking powder, 2 teaspoons of baking powder. So we're gonna do that, mix that together, and then we have to put it with the wet ingredients and mix it all up.
what glory this holiday represents, but it's fair to say that Christmas is a magic
So now we're going to roll out the dough. Ernie, I should say, not me. I got frustrated with how clumpy the dough was, and you're supposed to knead it together with your hands to make the dough stick together. So we have 3 balls of dough, 2 are wrapped in plastic per the directions while we roll this one out. So we just have flour on the counter. We floured the rolling pin really well so that that doesn't stick. So we're gonna roll each one of these out until they're 1/4 of an inch thick. And then we're gonna use the cookie cutters and cut out some pieces. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this rolls well. We'll see.
Yes, every time the snow is falling down and it is cold outside, we gather around the fireplace and no one cares about yesterday. My favorite holiday, it means so much more than words can say. And I claim Christmas is a magic day. Sometimes I tend to forget what glory this holiday represents, but it's fair to say that Christmas is a magic day.
No, I can't wait for the weekend. Waking up next to you. We'll be sharing our secrets, making dreams come true. Let's have a toast for the lovers.
Okay, so we have some of the sugar cookies in the oven, 350 degrees for about, we're gonna check them, I put them in for 8 minutes. The recipe says, depending on how you want them, depends on how long you cook them. So you could do them for 9 minutes, 10 minutes. The longer you cook them, the more golden they're gonna get. The less time you cook them, the less golden they'll be. So I'm gonna check them just because you never know how like your oven is compared to like the recipe's oven. So we'll see how they look in a little bit, and we're just gonna continue to make sugar cookies. I feel like this dough is never ending. It definitely makes a lot of sugar cookies. So we'll see how much more we do. I feel like our patience for these sugar cookies is dwindling, and it's only the first cookie that we're making. So God help the remaining 4. We'll see. All right, second cookie time. We have the sugar cookies. Some of them are on the cooling rack behind me. The other ones are in the oven still. So now we're going on to the second cookie that we're making, which is like a chocolate peppermint cookie we're going with. We're using a recipe, but also kind of adding our own spin to it because Ernie wants to put a couple things in it that aren't in the recipe.
Crushed candy canes and M&Ms.
There you go. So what you need is a cake mix, like a chocolate cake mix. This one is just a triple chocolate fudge. It said like the chocolate fudge mix or like some kind of dark chocolate mix. So we're just going to use this one. And then it's 2 eggs and a ½ cup of canola oil. So you're going to mix that together. That gets you the base. And then you can put in any kind of like peppermint that you want. The recipe used Andes, is that it?
Andes.
Andes, but like the not the green ones that you see all the time, like the actual red and white ones, the peppermint flavor. They put that in there, and then you have to freeze the dough for an hour. So we're gonna make the dough, freeze it, then we're gonna move on to another cookie and then come back to it later.
We'll tumble round in the snow, and my heart's going boom, boom, boom. You're so beautiful. What a night. Can you feel it too? Girl, I won't let you go. When the sky comes alive, let's have a jolly holiday. Holiday. Let's have a jolly holiday. Holiday.
Okay, so this is what the dough looks like for the chocolate chip mint cookies. We're gonna put it in the refrigerator for an hour, and we're gonna move on to the next cookie. We're gonna do, I think we're gonna do the Almond Joy Cookies next. I'm really excited for those. So this is gonna go in the fridge for an hour, and then we'll come back to this later. So now we're doing the Almond Joy cookie. In this bowl is the dry ingredients. So it's 1 1/8 cups of flour. So it's essentially 1 cup of flour and then 2 tablespoons of flour. You do a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Now we're gonna work on the wet ingredients. We just mix that together. So now we're gonna do the wet ingredients in the mixing bowl. So it says to do butter, sugar, using a mixer, add vanilla and egg and mixed just until incorporated. So let's see how much butter we need for this. So 1 stick of softened butter, and then sugar. So 1/3 cup of sugar, 1/3 cup of brown sugar, and then a 1/2 cup of butter. So we're gonna put that into this, mix it, and then we're gonna add the vanilla and egg until it's all blended together.
I haven't seen you in so long, though we text every day, and still my feelings are so strong. How I miss your face. Let's have a toast for the lovers. We'll tumble round in the snow, and my heart's going boom, boom, boom. You're so beautiful. Can you feel it too? Girl, I won't let you go.
So now that the dough is all mixed together, the dry with the wet, we're going to add the ingredients. So it's 1.5 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chip cookies. So I'm just gonna toss those in there. I'm gonna grab a wooden spoon because I feel like this is gonna be a little bit harder to mix together now. And then we're going to put in a cup of shredded sweetened coconut flakes. Mix these. It calls for a 3/4 of a cup of almond slices. I didn't have slices. Waiting for her to stop. I didn't have slices, so I just like mashed whole almonds, and so it's just like 3/4 cup of that. I think it'll be fine. So we're just gonna toss those in there. And we're gonna mix this together. Here. And I will see. So once you stir everything together, you're gonna use a cookie scoop, it says, 1.5 inches, round spoonfuls onto parchment paper, and you're gonna cook them for 9 to 12 minutes. So we'll see how these come out. You're gonna obviously let them cool for 10 minutes. Oh, it says allow to cool for 10 minutes before moving to cookie cooling rack. So we're just gonna let them sit on the actual cookie sheet instead of taking them right off. So we're gonna try that and see how it goes.
Jolly holiday, holiday, holiday.
Up next, chocolate chip cookies. The Almond Joy Cookies are in the oven. I need to set the timer. Oh no. Check them in 8 minutes. Says like 9 to 12 minutes, so we'll check them in about 8. We're gonna move on to chocolate chip cookies. So, are you helping out on this one, babe?
Yeah, right here.
Okay. What we're gonna do is cream together on medium to high speed, it's specific. You're gonna cream together 2 sticks of butter, 1 cup of brown sugar, and a 1/2 cup of white sugar until creamy, light, and fluffy. So let's start with that first. 2 sticks of butter, 1 cup of brown sugar, 1/2 cup of regular sugar. Let's get it. So,
Oh, when I got you by my side, what a night. Oh, girl, I won't let you go. When the sky comes alive, let's have a jolly holiday, holiday. Let's have a jolly holiday, holiday. Let's have a
so Ernie's over there doing the wet ingredients for the chocolate chip cookie dough. It was all the sugars and the butter. He added 2 eggs, 1 at a time, beat them in, and then we did 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And now we're gonna incorporate the dry ingredients that I have in my hand. So I'm gonna give this to him. It is 3 cups of flour, 2 tablespoons of baking powder and 1.5 teaspoons of salt mixed together, and then we're going to put it into the wet ingredients. The Almond Joy cookies are still in the oven. They're not done yet. I just checked them. They were in for 9 minutes. I'm gonna let them go for another like 3 minutes and check them again. So we'll keep an eye on that. So the chocolate chip cookies are baking in the oven right now. They are almost done. They're humongous, so I definitely don't like this recipe. I prefer a recipe that I used to use. This one is just not it for me. I like thinner chocolate chip cookies, so not a fan, but those are almost done. And then these are how the Almond Joy ones turned out. They actually look really good. Happy with those. And then these are the sugar cookies that we have to decorate. So we're gonna do that, decorate those sugar cookies, and then we have to finish Ernie's chocolate peppermint cookies. So I will show you guys when we get there. Okay guys, this is the final product from the last 2 cookies that we did. So this is the one that Ernie really wanted to do, which was the chocolate mint. They actually came out pretty cute. So it was the cake batter. He put in like mini M&Ms and some candy, crushed candy canes in the batter itself. And then he melted junior mints and used that as icing. And then we sprinkled some more of the candy cane, like the crushed candy cane on top. So they came out pretty good. And these are the sugar cookies. I bet you can guess which ones are mine and which ones are Ernie's. Obviously Ernie's are the better ones since he's very creative and crafty and artistic and I'm not. So like that one, he did all the snowmen that actually looked decent. Ernie did. I'm pretty proud of this one though. Did that one. Looks pretty good. So yeah, so those are the sugar cookies. They're alright. So yeah, so we did the sugar cookies, the mint and chocolate cookies, the Almond Joys, and the chocolate chip cookies. So that is a wrap on Christmas cookie baking day. So did you have fun?
Had a great time.
Sugar cookies?
Yeah.
Chocolate chip cookies?
Yep.
Which one do you think are your favorite?
All the ones I made.
The chocolate and peppermint?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they actually look probably the best, I think. Those and, what did I say? The Almond Joys.
Almond Joys.
They look pretty good too.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't try them yet though, but they look pretty good. So that's a wrap on Christmas cookie cook-off.
Good stuff.
2019. Next
Fun
year, I think we're going to limit it to 2 cookies, possibly.
2 cookies.
2 cookies. So.
Less quantity.
More quality.
More quality.
Yeah. Alright guys, thanks. Talk to you later.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Jolly holiday, holiday.